Where you from? Man, I'm from down in the valley.
I got people trying to wish and pray that I'ma fall about it, all about it till we spoke in person. Don't wanna talk about it now, huh? Oh, you sound tough, toying with them, don't get wound up. How you wound up? Another number in the round up. Put the town up, built the sling up.
You mean like San Antonio? Nah, man, farther.
Got the east side flow. I'm a giant in the space like FIFA. All the kids
V's up, player.
Every time when they see my show, thinking that it happened overnight.
Let's start the show, Wattis.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Danny with Down the Valley Sports, and we're back to talk about UTRGV men's basketball. So, as y'all know, Coach Kahil Fennell moved on to Western Michigan, and now there's a little bit of buzz around some candidates in the coaching search. So, let's get into that. Roy, what do you think?
Yes, sir. Exciting times. Exciting times. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so who are you hearing right now pop up as potential candidates to take over the Vaqueros basketball team?
Yeah, nothing's confirmed. Obviously, a lot of chatter out there, especially with being coming off such a good season and the momentum that the Vaqueros have within the basketball program, within the program as a whole. Some things that were chattered online was Brandon Chambers, NC State assistant. He had some a little bit of chatter on there. Tanner Smith, Appalachian State assistant. Vernon Hamilton, a big name from NC. Another one, actually a former Clemson standout was Vernon Hamilton, and then our internal hire was Brock Erickson, a candidate. Hopefully, he gets a chance to be able to get in the interview and show that he can prove and provide some continuity on the staff. And then with his background being a very successful lower division basketball coach with Nichols and what he was able to do there, I think it really gives him a good chance to put his best foot forward and see and show the vision that he has. So really good candidates. Looked focused on assistants. What I saw, I didn't see any former head coaches on the list, but that could change, right? We talked about that PJ. If we had a PJ tracker, we'd be able to find out where Chase and Molly and everybody's at, but we don't. So those are the names I've heard, and those are the names that I think have some shots within it, along with something maybe we're thinking is Jai Steadman having that RGV Vipers background might be somebody that's thrown as a wild card. So nothing confirmed, but just names have been thrown out there online and things that maybe we see as a good fit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contrast there, right? Like you have assistant coaches, candidates out there that we've hired in the past. Cahill was just an assistant at some prestigious programs versus the internal candidate that already had the system implemented, has the familiarity. So, what do you think UTRGV should prioritize? Because they all have their own attributes.
I mean, if you're not going to go a proven head coach that already has done it and that maybe is on the men that maybe got fired or is in between coaching jobs, and you're going to go for an assistant, my biggest thing is having somebody hopefully with ties to Texas,
Hmm.
right? FCS school, although we do recruit internationally, the Brink is obviously from Serbia. We have players, I think, from Australia, and we had, always right from Mexico. And there's always going to be that element of international recruiting. But
Hmm.
if you can get somebody with ties to Texas, there's so much talent in Texas on basketball that somebody that has ties and is able to hit the ground running from a recruiting standpoint would be hugely beneficial. And then to me, the insider guy is always. It would be one thing if Brock didn't have head coaching experience and he was coming off just being a successful assistant coach. But this guy
Hmm.
has coaching chops and he has a history of winning. I think I saw that he was 73 and 14 at Nichols. He won something like four, conference championships, right? He had some really high level performances that I wasn't even aware of, to be honest with you, because I hadn't done a lot of research on him, other than knowing he was a great add to the staff here with us, right? So knowing that he has that type of background as a successful coach, that could be the way they go too. Because as we talked in our last show, people are hitting the portal, and it's not just us. SFA had three guys hit the portal in their starting lineup, right? And we're going to continue to see guys hit the portal throughout the conference within the Southland. That if we can get in the mix early, there's some attractiveness to coming down to the valley. right?
Mm.
There's a lot going on down here that's good. There's NIL, right? There's buy-in from the administration. There's buy-in from the city of Edinburg and the Valley. Our attendance numbers are going nothing but up, right? And I
Mhm.
think if you get some excitement with this hire does what we talked about of engaging the community, getting out there and putting itself out there as a leader of the men representing us. We can get behind a coach, especially new. Sometimes is also good, right? Congratulations to KF for getting a new job, but for us, this is a good thing. Having somebody new to make this program commit to the momentum that we already have is going to be good for all of us and good for all programs. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I think the roster turnover thing is just a sign of the times, right? Like you're going to deal with that every year. I mean, SFA had a successful season, and they're still seeing roster turnover. So back to your point about like being able to recruit local to the state, that could help continuity, right? If they want to stay close to home in their home state, we recruit internationally as well. To your point about Brank as well, but one of my points in an earlier video was like, continuity, I think could help with sustained success, right? Familiarity and nothing against an assistant coach either, versus a head coach. But I think even head coaches at lower levels have proven that they can have success at higher subdivisions of college athletics. I think about to draw a parallel with football, like Kalen DeBoer, who's at Alabama right now. He was winning
Hmm.
national championships, I believe, at Sioux Falls at the NAIA level. So if you're a winning coach, you're a winning coach. I think it falls back on your principles and your habits and your discipline, and that can be applied at every level. So I like that in Coach Brock Erickson. Among the other
Yeah.
candidates, because we just showed that we had success with an assistant coach with Kahil, right? So I think you can go either one, but we're going to get behind whoever they hire and support them and love on them and attend, all their basketball games, which I think the Valley needs to rally behind as well.
Yeah, and I can see it happening. And I think that um, we talked about fast is good. And I think moving fast on this with these interviews kind of trickling out and being either leaked or hopefully they're true, it's going to be something that's going to be beneficial. But I got to go back in the history of UTRGV and UTPA, right? I don't know if you remember when you were here how good the basketball program was, but I don't know, right? I don't. I can't remember us having a coach get promoted. Essentially, it's promotion, right? He just got promoted, doubled his salary, changed his life, right? And went to a bigger school. When was the last time that happened down here with the basketball program? I don't remember it, right? So this is
I'd have
unique.
to look it up.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, I
unique, right? We're coming off a successful 2-year run with a transformational head coach that's going to be a big time head coach in the next 5 years in Cahill, right? We have this moment to capitalize on this, right? You almost need somebody that's just not going to mess it up, right? And that's not a hot take, it's a real take. When you have a top three program in the Southland, right? You have the opportunity to make a jump to being a top team in the Southland. So if you hire a guy that's energetic, you hire a guy that can recruit. To me, it's all about recruiting in the new NIL player management. It's not old school, way it is. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have Rick Pitino that's coming into the doors of the field house. Right? So we're going to go for these, high level assistants. We're going to go for maybe a lower level coach coming up to do this, or we're going to go for a Brock Erickson, who I think and I really know can do a really good job. So all the options look good. I'm interested to see how it comes out the next couple of days, and we're going to be tracking as close as we can to be able to find out more information for the fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to cover before we wrap up?
Nah, I'll be in Edinburgh tonight for the baseball game. Go check that out. So if the head coach is there, come say hi to me. It's okay if you're on a visit, right? So baseball season, they're back home, so I'm going to go check that out. But as far as basketball, I'm excited. I really, really think this is a good thing for us. and a good thing for the program. And they'll get the right. I'm confident in Chase. I'm confident in the admin that they're going to do what's right, and they're going to do and make the best decision for the Valley. So I feel good about it.
All right, with that, that's a wrap for today on candidates and our coaching search for our UTRGV men's basketball team. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Check y'all later. V's up.
O side or no side, V's up.